The day of the first meeting of these countries in June 1977, today has been one of steady, heavy rain. 24 hours non-stop. No late changes on either side, but both showing two changes from the last game. And Ireland possibly setting something of an international record in fielding three pair of fullbacks, different fullbacks in the last three games. It was Langen and Beglin in Poland, McGrath and Whelan in Scotland, Anderson and Houghton in Bulgaria. Nikolov. This is Iliev, the big centre back. Mikhailov. Nikolov. Iliev again. And the first hard challenge of the game. See Frank Stapleton there calling back. And the signs are out as Mick McCarthy went into that crunch. And the hard man of the Irish defence limps away from that. Iliev. Bezinski, new man. And still the rain pours down. The Irish seem to think that these sort of conditions will suit them. And we were talking to the Bulgarian manager earlier on, and he feels that it will suit Bulgaria. So, you take your pick out of that. Certainly with these gluey conditions, it's going to hold it up for the challenges, all right. Indirect free kick here to Bulgaria. That's Iliev. McCarthy going out in the challenge. Stops the Skrenov. Kolev. Skrenov again. Sadkov, Simeonov. Ireland a bit stretched at the back then. And it's Frank Stapleton back to help in his defence. Taki Bonner, 16th international. Aldridge. Dimitrov, the skipper, plays now at Saint-Étienne in France. John Anderson. Iskrenov. Play on. And back was Paul McGrath. Very early surge here from the Bulgarians. Nikolov, Iliev. Chris Houghton with Tanev. Nikolov. Brady. Galvin. Dimitrov, Georgi Dimitrov. 72nd international. Hard challenge by Kevin Moran. Whelan, Aldridge, McGrath. Stapleton, Aldridge at the back post. In goes Galvin. And probably denied John Aldridge the chance of that. Ireland's first attack, 4 minutes gone. Mikhailov here, the man who was banned for life and was brought back to play for Bulgaria in the World Cup. Ground about half full here, about 32 to 33,000. What brave souls they are to come out in these conditions. See the ball holding up there on Stapleton in the conditions. Mr. Valente, the Portuguese referee, has penalised the Bulgarians. And big man Iliev gets himself. Here's a look at that again. Iliev's challenge on Stapleton, no doubt about the free kick. And here's Liam Brady about to take it. Most capped Republic of Ireland player. The 62nd this evening. That was Mick McCarthy making the late jump. This Houghton trying to find Brady. Idea was very good. Liam Brady, all the young people here yesterday at training wanting the autograph of a man they know so well. First from Arsenal, then from Italy. Now, of course, West Ham United. Iliev, this big stopper of Bulgaria. Borislav Mikhailov. Here's Pazinski into the side because Petrov is injured. Kolev. That was Tanov on the move. Tanov still, McCarthy stretching to him. Tanov's cross, and it's Galvin back to sweep it away for Ireland. Bazinski. Sirakov and Tanov and Estrenov are in the penalty box awaiting a cross. Hectic first few minutes for the Irish defence. No goals in Sofia. 6.5 minutes gone. One Irish attack, and the rest has been pretty predictably Bulgaria coming forward. On the home ground, behind them those two very good away draws. But if they want to really please their own people, they've got to put on a show this evening. Chris Houghton, his 32nd international for the Republic. He's only played 4 reserve games since a severe leg operation, cartilage. That's Galvin. Kevin Moran. Simeonov with leaves the free kick to Dimitrov, to Iliev. Ireland have closed them down, keeping the shape in the middle of the field. Bazinski. Ronnie Whelan, John Aldridge. Jack Charlton has said he doesn't want to get involved in a passing game with the Bulgarians. They're very quick on the 1-2s. He wants to get the ball in behind their defence as often and as quickly as possible. So far, that's been pretty well denied them, but here's a chance. Stapleton backs on to his marker, but a good header by Iliev under pressure. Offside is Skrenko. Here's Sirakov, big star in Mexico for them. Brzezinski to Dimitrov, whose manager from Saint-Etienne is here to watch him this evening. Ireland closing them down well in the midfield and not allowing any fancy stuff. Here's Sadkov. Good challenge by Ronnie Whelan. Stapleton to Brady. Stapleton in the run. Dimitrov across to him, the two captains. Well done, Stapleton. But Nikolov is back to help his keeper. Jack Charlton and co on the Irish bench. Sadkov. Iskrenov. This is Moran. Tentative pass back by Moore. Now that's interesting. He hasn't kicked a ball with his right foot for 12 days since the injury. Did not train any of the 2 days here in Sofia. And he has the thing well protected, bandaged and cotton wool, that right foot, the right instep for this game. So as he jokingly told us before the match, if you see me side-footing some passes away, I don't think it's any fancy work on my behalf. Georgi Dimitrov. 72 internationals this evening now for Bulgaria. McGrath closing down Iliev very quickly then. Here's Kolev. Sadkov. John Anderson. And there's nothing wrong with your television picture. That's rain that's falling across it. And it really is pouring here. And it has been non-stop, as I said, for 24 hours. I expect the playing surface to cut up considerably. Brady. Nicola. Instruction given. Free kick Ireland. 11 minutes gone in the Vasilevsky Stadium in Sofia. Bulgaria 0, Republic of Ireland 0. The boot that hits it is that of Chris Houghton. This is Iliev, 6'3" centre back. Nicola. Number 6, Simeonov. This is Kolev again. Very popular surname in this part of the world. Iliev. Ronnie Whelan, good covering back by Whelan. Good play. Finds his clubmate Aldridge. Bezinski very dangerous on that run up the left. And how quickly Whelan reacted to the danger. Massive losses really that Ireland have suffered in the absence of Lawrence and Houghton. Houghton, Jack Charlton admitted, very difficult to replace. It was non-stop running, filling in the little gaps, spotting danger signs, as well as his own attacking game. It's Brady. Knock on the head for John Aldridge. Dimitrov. Sadkov. See how quickly McGrath was on to him then. Not allowing the very experienced Sadkov, 55 internationals, to settle on the ball. Like McCarthy's header. Dimitrov. McGrath. Referee gives advantage. He's straying up. Sadkov. Nikolov. Simeonov. Nice cross by Simeonov, pulling very wide, I'm afraid. And killed the chance for the moment. Kolev back inside again. Sirakov. Sirakov again. That's Kevin Moran's defensive header. Ball getting caught in the gluey surface. Nikolov. Moran, another good win in the air by Kevin Moran. Here's Brady. Iliev. He's done well in the early stages of this game. 14 minutes gone, no goal. Nikolov. Skrenov to number 8, Sadkov. Dimitrov played in Mexico for them. Very experienced, very good sweeper. In French football with Saint-Étienne, he likes to play Beckenbauer style, coming forward a lot, but I think he's going to stay home pretty well this evening. And here he is again. He has scored 7 goals, though, for Bulgaria, so one to watch, particularly on dead ball situations. Tony Galvin has come goal side of him. There's Kevin Moran stretching across. It's Houghton, 28 years old, Spurs fullback. Nikolov. John Anderson came in, got a vital touch to it, and Kevin Moran concedes the throw-in. Nikolov now plays his club football in Belgium, in Antwerp, with the throw. Houghton, Galvin, Aldridge. Well, the ground is not helping them, and it's getting worse by the minute. Here's Dimitrov. Brzezinski. Foul's been given against Brady. Kolev at the ball. Now, there can be danger from this. Big Sirakov, very good. Iskrenov doesn't get a lot of goals, Iskrenov, but a very sharp operator around the box. His little runs. Kolev with the free kick. Poorly hit. Stapleton to McGrath. That's Ronnie Whelan who's made the run outside him. Give him a bit of width. Whelan to Brady. Brady back to McGrath. A late flag, but I think a correct one. 1-7 in Bulgaria. And the scoreboard 0-0. Dimitrov. Brzezinski. Kolev. Rather fear that the conditions now do not suit a short passing game at all. And Bulgaria may be beginning to find this. Stapleton, that's offside again. That one was closer. John Aldridge caught. Portuguese officials here. But I think he may just very well have been off when the ball was played. Semyonov for Bulgaria. Sadkov makes himself available. Challenge was Paul McGrath's. Here's Iskrenov. Nikolov. McGrath. Houghton, nice little out ball. Stapleton. Oh, that's good. Stapleton to Galvin. Offside flag is up again, and it's becoming frustrating for John Aldridge on the far side. No run on the ball at all, so everything has to be cleanly struck. Look at that. Iliev to Nikolov. It continues to rain like this for the rest of the game. This pitch may just be barely playable by the end. Stapleton taken out. There's some very hefty challenges in this game. So Liam Brady with the free kick. And many of these he must have taken for Ireland in this time. Now he's got Aldridge and Stapleton to aim it. And Galvin. Stapleton getting in behind Iliev again. And down he was brought. Ball has gone dead. Goal kick is the decision. Jack Charlton there with a word to say to Dr. Bob O'Driscoll just behind him. The foot was left in by the defender then. Nikolov, free kick. Simeonov. We haven't seen Sirakov as yet, and we won't see him now either. Goal kick to us. Sirakov, that big number 10, just leaving the penalty area now. Capable of those late runs from the back. Medlanov, the many times manager of Bulgaria, great lover of Hungarian football of the 50s. About which he'd rather talk, I think, than tonight's game. Now 56 years old. Game well punctuated by free kicks. Paul McGrath to Ronnie Whelan. Let a lot of it there. McGrath and again. And again, Sirakov. Tanev. Sadkov. Istrenov with Chris Houghton. Frank Stapleton makes himself available. Good ball by Houghton. Good challenge by Iliev. Ireland have withstood that early pressure from the Bulgarians. It came at them in the first 5-6 minutes. Thundering at them, athletic speed. And Ireland have kept the shape. And ball it was. Want to get organised quickly and try and avoid the quick free kick, and Paul McGrath has done just that. He's held it up. View from behind Paki Bonner's goal. Kolev is there. So is Sadkov. It was Kolev. Mick McCarthy came up. Kolev again. Again looking for a handball. And here's Galvin taking a stint on the right-hand side. Pezinski. But 3 kicks to out. Bonner linking with Glasgow Celtic 50 years back to Fox Foley. Another Glasgow Celtic man who kept goal for Ireland. Foul on the Irish skipper Frank Stapleton. And a chance perhaps for Liam Brady to float one in. Now let's see who they can get forward. Who they can afford to get forward. Mick McCarthy, Frank Stapleton with them, Tony Galvin and John Aldridge. Paul McGrath as well. So McGrath, McCarthy, Galvin, Stapleton, Aldridge. Going towards McCarthy, being held off the ball by Sirakov. McGrath's challenge. Brady. Whelan. Aldridge. McGrath. Kolev. This is where Bulgaria are most dangerous, on the quick break. So it's the passing movement that breaks down is the most dangerous time for Ireland. That time it was Paul McGrath, couldn't make the cross. Here's Dimitrov, and he stayed forward. But Sadkov's pass was indeed sad. After 25 minutes of football in Sofia, Bulgaria 0, Republic of Ireland 0. With Chris Houghton to throw. Aldridge still looking for his first Irish goal. Brady, and the ground beat him there. Here's John Anderson. Long way back to Paki Bonner. Nice chest work there by Frank Stapleton. Whelan couldn't get it back to him. The Irish captain doing very well. He's run from right to left and through the middle. Made himself a very good target man indeed. And a difficult man. Whelan. Galvin. Didn't have the first touch control that was required then. Simeonov, Sirakov, well done, Paki Bonner. That's an example of the danger and the quickness of Sirakov on the break. Nikolov looking for Sirakov again. John Anderson. Good stop there by Whelan, working so hard on the right-hand side. Here he is again. That's the sort of ball over the top of the back four that makes them work back and gives Ireland time. And Jack Charlton will be happy enough with that. If you have just joined us, you have not missed a goal because there hasn't been one. 27 minutes gone in Sofia. Ireland holding the Bulgarians to 0-0. This is Ronnie Whelan towards Liam Brady. Tanev, the centre forward, so far back, taken by Aldridge. It's a booking. Yellow card for John Aldridge. So in this European Championship now, Tony Galvin, Jerry Daly, Mick McCarthy, Kevin Moore and Mark Lawrence and now John Aldridge are on yellow cards. Of course, clearly some of those not playing in this game, but so those on the yellows have got to be really careful. There's Chris Houghton, Frank Stapleton, Ronnie Whelan, good ball by Whelan, giving a lot of space to Brady. Galvin with Nikolov, nice teasing cross. Mikhailov got a good clearance either. Poor play by the keeper, and Bulgaria lucky then. Oh, in these conditions, bad goalkeeping because the ball is holding on the surface. Galvin. Picking out at Simeonov. And I was giving that litany there of yellow cards. Tony Galvin is one of them, so he'd better beware. Simeonov, Sadkov. Experienced man, played in Mexico for the Bulgarians, had a good World Championship. Iskrenov to Bezinski. Kolev couldn't keep it in play. Half an hour gone, no goals. Fairly muted audience most of the way here in the Vasilevsky Stadium. It's McCarthy. People here are very familiar, of course, with the English league scene. They know more indeed about Liverpool and Manchester United and the like than they do about Vitosha, Sofia and their own famous clubs. Iliev here. He plays with Vitosha Sofia. Simeonov. Iliev again. Houghton. Again, that's over the top, and they've all got to turn and play it back and regroup. And the Bulgarians hate this. At least Jack Charlton thinks they do. And judging by Nikolov there, Big Jack may be right. Houghton, Stapleton, Brady. Brady with Nikolov, Iliev. Here's Moreland. Lovely knock away there by Aldridge to Ronnie Whelan. Trying to chip Mikhailov. Goal kick Bulgaria. A lovely layoff by Aldridge. "34th international for this man this evening." Nikolov. John Anderson for Ireland. Men with wavy hair this morning now have flat hair. Men with numbers on their backs, a lot of them have now been mud splattered. An identification in the Vasilevsky. It's becoming a little more difficult by the minute. Number 10 is Sirakov, big star of Bulgarian football, and of course, that's Ronnie Whelan. Brady. Referee unimpressed by the fall in the penalty area. Bezinski. Iliev. Nikolov. They like to play it from the back. And there's Mick McCarthy tidying up behind Kevin Moran. Bulgaria playing three up front. Tanev, Iskrenov and Sivakov. Stapleton, Nikolov away. Free kick's been given to Bulgaria. Tanev. Stapleton. There's a heavy late knock from right back Nikolov. Bulgaria ball. Nikolov, Sadkov, Tanev. Fouled by Paul McGrath. Dimitrov. Iskrenov. The one nearer the penalty area that's going to count. Free kick then to Bulgaria. And interesting again that Dimitrov, the sweeper, has not gone forward. He sent Ilya, the big centre back. He's just the widest man there on the left of your picture. Kolev is the taker. So 10 minutes to the break. And despite all their early flourish, the Bulgarians really haven't threatened Paddy Bonner's goal. And this was, well, very high. Good concentration by the Irish midfield. Not just the conventional midfield. Everybody's done a turn there in closing down the Bulgarians. Very good display. And everybody's done their share of work. There's Paul McGrath. Strength and skill combined then. Here's Brady. Galvin. Whelan. Anderson. Whelan again. Unlucky. McCarthy. McGrath. There's more frustration with the referee getting in his way than anything else then. And quite a deal must be excused too in the conditions. Iliev. That's a good-looking ball. Sirakov was making a run. Iliev. Dimitrov. Kolev. Kaczynski. Ronnie Whelan stayed back goal side of him. There's John Anderson stretching to that. This is Kolev again with Brady arriving. Good play, Kolev. Good ball inside. Tanev was trying to make contact and couldn't do it. Danger then for Ireland. Nice piece of play by Kolev. The run was by Tanev. To Esquenov, the 24-year-old, 39-time cap, and the first shift Tokyo. Now you can see the ground cutting up considerably now, not surprising. Nikolov. Jack Charlton's 9th game as manager for Ireland, and his away record: 3 wins, 1 draw, and only 1 defeat. And that defeat was not in a competitive game to Poland late last year. Dimitrov. Sininov. McGrath. Aldridge. Whelan. Moran to Brady. Galvin. Looking for Aldridge, but again the pace. killing the striker's chance of getting contact. Liam Brady playing for his third time here on this ground in Sofia. No Irishman has ever played 3 times in the Bulgarian capital. Dimitrov. Olev. Dimitrov, the skipper again. Looks for Sirakov. 2 Irish there, Moran and McCarthy. Play on. Sirakov. Chance here, Sadkov. Bulgarian crowd on its feet. The ball played up between Sirakov and the 2 Irish defenders. And when the foul came in and the referee said play on, the advantage truly was that. The ball played across by Sirakov and taken under control, and it looked like Sadkov putting it away for Bulgaria, 1-0. Five minutes from half-time. Now, this changes the whole complexion of the evening. Free kick for Frank Stapleton on Ireland. An Irish team that must be stunned by that reverse. Brady and Whelan at the ball. Forward of them, Moran, Stapleton, Galvin, McCarthy. But imposing the bodies between the ball and the player, good work by the Bulgarian defence. So those away draws now in Glasgow and Brussels added to this lead coming up to half-time. And Bulgaria must fancy their chances against anybody at this moment. That's Kevin Moran's header. Nikolov. Sirakov again. Istrenov couldn't make it, McCarthy did. Houghton. Dimitrov. Galvin. High challenge by Simeonov. Stapleton. Galvin again. Tony Galvin. Free kick, fouled by Simeonov. Brady. Stapleton. Galvin just ran a little too hard on him. Now McCarthy. Stapleton. McGrath. Couldn't swing a leg. Galvin does, just wide. Good effort, Tony Galvin. And Liam Brady encourages the Spurs man with a nice little solo round of applause, almost bending it past Mikhailov's left-hand post. It was close. Brady. And Stapleton. Making the foul on Nikolov. And attention for the Bulgarian right back. Now professional with Antwerp in Belgium, 29 years old. And tonight is 43rd international for Bulgaria. The magic spray. One goal Nikola has scored in his 43 internationals, so 42 and a bit. There's the clock showing that we've gone into time added on. Referee has checked both his linesman and his own timepiece. Off Kevin Moore and Ted John Anderson to tidy it up. And that's about it. The first half is over. Very good fighting performance by the Irish for just over 40 minutes. I noticed as they come in, by the way, that Kevin Moore is limping. Now, he went in very dodgy into this match with the right foot. He's limping indeed pretty badly as he comes off the field. One goal, 4 minutes from the break, scored on the break by Sirakov and put in the net by Sadkov. And at half-time in Sofia, it's Bulgaria 1, Republic of Ireland 0. This has been since early yesterday evening. It's raining still. Kolev for Bulgaria. Nikolov with the throw. Simeonov. McGrath. Iliev to skipper Dimitrov. Borislav Mikhailov. Missed by Moore, taken by Sirakov. Chris Hughton's challenge. Nikolov to throw again for Bulgaria. Well, Kevin Moore clearly not agreeing with that. Jack Charlton, top of your picture. Well, he's finally got use for the cap on this terrible evening in the capital of Bulgaria. Tanev. Nikolov. And Moran limped as he kicked that ball on that very sore right foot of his. The instep that he got a knock on. A little over-the-top challenge last Saturday week. Medlanov there, the coach of Bulgaria. 47 times he's been in charge of the Bulgarian national team. Houghton. Flick on. Nice one it was by Stapleton. Aldridge just couldn't avail of it. Liam Brady. Now here's Aldridge. Looks for the support. He's got the support. Mikhailov is down the post. Ronnie Whelan almost in for Ireland. Tony Galvin to swing it across. Aldridge getting in the header again. John Aldridge looking for his first goal for Ireland. And twice, 3 times, they were so close. Clearly Ireland's best attack of the match. Aldridge made the cross. That was Whelan coming in. Mikhailov got it out. Stapleton had a try. And with the foot, Pat Jennings style, Mikhailov stopped it again. And when it came back the 3rd time from Galvin's cross, it was John Aldridge who headed it just behind. Very positive opening to the second half by Ireland. They obviously got quite a G up in the dressing room at half-time. This is a very positive start indeed. Though there's got to be some warning bells around now because Moran is certainly limping. McCarthy in very hard on Sirakov. Here's Whelan. McCarthy. Two very good saves by last year's Bulgarian Footballer of the Year, Mikhailo. Two good stops. The first one, perhaps he might have held or knocked away more clearly than he did, but he merely palmed it in the path of Stapleton, and then perhaps was lucky to get a right foot to Stapleton's effort. Nonetheless, they all count. Kolev with Paul McGrath. Well won by McGrath. John Anderson. Bezinski. Galvin. Brady, back to Whelan. The swing off. Simeonov to Nikolov. Liam Brady. Giving himself that foot of space to McCarthy. And kicking away at the possession. 5 minutes gone, second half. Bulgaria 1, Ireland 0. Sirakov with McCarthy. Both countries unbeaten going into this game, and of course Ireland will be quite happy to go out of the game with a similar statistic. Here's Brady. Stapleton rising up, beaten in the air by Dimitrov. Dimitrov's header again. In went McGrath. There was Stapleton, and the crowd is stunned in Sofia. Frank Stapleton. Well, joy knows no bounds for the Irish now. And the sound effects, I think, in the stadium would probably tell a lie, because there's hardly a sound. It's certainly there's a mute on the trumpet in Sofia now. 1-1. Knocked in again. Dimitrov with the second header out. Paul McGrath with the vital touch. The keeper badly positioned. It's 1-1. Good goal by Stapleton. And a fine piece of work by Paul McGrath to be in at the heart of the movement. No more than Ireland have deserved. Played so well in the first half and have started so well in the second. Well, the two central defenders are taking no prisoners in there, as they say. And here's the chance for Bulgaria to snatch back the goal and the lead. The man most dangerous from these situations is number 7, Kolev. And that's how they spell Stapleton in Bulgarian. There he is, number 7, Kolev. Plays his club football with Lokomotiv Plovdiv. Just 22 years old. One of the best dead ball specialists in Bulgarian football. Getting around the wall, very cleanly held by Pakibona. Referee spotting the foul by Iliev on Stapleton. Visibility becoming rather difficult now in Sofia as the rain increases in its density. Look at that for a downpour. Liam Brady, Iliev's header. Ronnie Whelan, goal kick. Well, what a start to the second half by the Republic of Ireland. For 40 minutes of this game, they played so well, containing the Bulgarians in the midfield. So many people doing so much work over and above the call of duty. And then conceding that goal was a sickener, really, coming up to half-time. But the positive beginning to the second half has truly deserved what they have at the moment, equality. Sadkov for Bulgaria, Stapleton for Ireland, the goal scorer. Dimitrov, Sadkov. Dimitrov again. Nikolov has to come back for it. This is Iliev, 6'3" centre-back. Kevin Moran trying to stretch to that. And in went the challenge of John Anderson. Between Anderson, McCarthy and Moran, there's been some heavy stuff handed out there. Free kick to Bulgaria. And it's Kolev again on it. He'll just wait for Iliev, the big centre-back, to get forward. He's done that now. Late run by Sirakov. Tanev takes up his position near post. Sirakov on the penalty spot. Kolev, goal kick. "35 minutes left to play, or 10 minutes of the second half gone, depending on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. Paul McGrath getting in the toe cap again when it counts. Ronnie Whelan. What an evening Ronnie Whelan has put in. Tremendous work rate all along the right-hand side of the field. Liam Brady battling for that, but it's foul on Sadkov. Number 7 here is Kolev. Stop with by Whelan again. It seems to be just everywhere along the right-hand side for Ireland. Stapleton forcing Dimitrov to play it back. Kolev's header. Kevin Moran's. Frank Stapleton. Ronnie Whelan waiting for Anderson to make a right back for him. What a poor header again by Dimitrov. In went Galvan. And that's 2 occasions that the skipper of Bulgaria from Saint Etienne, his inconclusive headers have caused problems. One brought on the goal, and that one very nearly gave Ireland the lead. Well, his manager won't be too happy, and I don't necessarily mean the Bulgarian, because his manager of Saint Etienne is here watching the game. That was Mick McCarthy's header. This is Frank Stapleton. Frank thinks it's a corner, and Frank is right. So they've assembled as many as they can afford in the penalty area. Brady back for Whelan. Back to Brady. Skrinov. John Anderson. Dezinski. McGrath. Dezinski again. Here's Stapleton. Galvan. Whelan. Aldridge. Pulled just away, too wide for him. Sirakov. And the ground is becoming pretty near unplayable now. The ball certainly not taking any run at all. And everything has to be forced. Here's Galvan. With Iliev. 31 minutes left in the match. Well, Jack Charlton has been on record as saying that he wanted 2 points from the two away games in Scotland and Bulgaria. And having got 2 straight out of Hampden Park, he reckoned this was a bonus game. Well, it's looking at the moment like a bonus. Here's Liam Brady's free kick. Mick McCarthy up there. Here's McGrath. Brady. Well, won again by Frank Stapleton, has been toiling so hard in there. Liam Brady. Play on. Bulgarians waiting for a whistle that didn't come. 3 of them stood up. Anderson. Whelan. Aldridge with Nikolov, and it's the Irishman is deemed to have fouled first. Mick Byrne with Dave Langan, Bob Driscoll, Mick Kennedy, Kellum O'Hanlon, chewing gum. Dazinski. Well, the kick of a tired man, perhaps a slightly frustrated one. Frank Stapleton, leading by example as the Irish skipper this evening. Here's Simeonov. McCarthy, the support player is John Anderson. Away goes Stapleton again, and Aldridge is pulled wide on the left. And Stapleton just couldn't feed him. It's Dimitrov who stops it. What a terrific performance by Frank Stapleton in his 56th international and his 20th time to captain Ireland this evening. Brady. Whelan. Keeper didn't know whether to go or stay. And in the end, he made a 50-50 decision. John Aldridge was close. How close? We shall see presently. McCarthy. And the couple of hundred Irish fans now making themselves felt in a song that seems to be the anthem of boxing and football and whatever. They've made a change. Number 15 coming in is Peter Alexandrov from the Slavia Sofia team, who comes in for Eskrenov. And Alexandrov is the joint leading goal scorer in Bulgarian football this season. And here he is, with 26 goals from 21 games. John Anderson made sure that he's going to have to use the washing powder tomorrow, as Basinski leaves the free kick to Dimitrov. Kolev. Dimitrov. Alexandrov. Kolev. Dimitrov. Simeonov. All spoiled. Too complex indeed. That's about the first time in the match that we've seen their skipper Dimitrov coming forward. Nikolov. This is Kolev. And away they battle again, Galvin and Aldridge and Stapleton, with Whelan in support. Aldridge. Well, the referee was placed no more than 5-6 meters from that incident, and he was unimpressed by the fall of John Aldridge. And a goal kick for Paki Bonner, the big man from Donegal who made his debut in Bydgoszcz in Poland, and is this evening winning his 16th international cap. Brady will wait for Mick McCarthy to get forward. That's some positive attitude by an away team, isn't it? Holding 1-1. Centre back going forward. Here's John Anderson to try and supply the ammunition. McCarthy rises. Sirakov in possession. Perhaps the best known and best current Bulgarian player. Alexandrov played it a good little ball. A run for Tanev, and it's covered by Kevin Moore. Another Bulgarian getting ready. This one is Voinov, number 16. He's another forward. So clearly they're going to go for broke. They've brought on Alexandrov. He's a forward. Voinov is another. 1-1 is the score. Kolev in possession. This is one of Bulgaria's best spells of the second half. Another good challenge by Kevin Moore. This is Brady. And now they can make the substitution. And it looks like Simeonov is going off. Simeonov. And on comes Voinov. Voinov from the Fratsa club, winning his 4th international for Bulgaria. Petr Alexandrov, who came on just before him, is also in his 4th international. So inexperienced then for the occasion that's in it. Tanev. Alexandrov in and knocked back by Brady. So less than 25 minutes to go in Sofia. Bulgaria 1, Sadkov the scorer. Ireland 1, the skipper Stapleton. For Frank, that's his 17th international goal. Now only 2 behind the all-time goal record of Don Gibbons. Brady battling, successfully so, to Galvin, taking on the defender. It's a good cross. Aldridge! Oh, he's still looking for that first goal for Ireland. Here's McCarthy. Tony Galvin. The challenge put him off. McCarthy battles for it hard. But Bulgaria have it away on Ireland, a bit scarce of defenders. Voinov, the new man. Oh, good play, John Anderson. Very good play. Held off, waited till the defence cover got back, and then made his challenge. Kolev. Sirakov. Anderson. Whelan, Brady, Galvin. Well, 3 or 4 Irish players looked at referee Mr. Valente, but no free kick. Voinov, early cross. Sirakov. The man who got that brilliant goal against Italy and Mexico in the World Cup did not, as Irish heart skipped a beat or two, did not get one then. Good cross it was by Voinov, beautifully pulled back, and Sirakov miscued completely. There he is, number 10, Nasko Sirakov. Terrific knock on. In goes Paul McGrath and forces the defender into error. Very good 10-minute spell then by the Bulgarians. Brzezinski, Whelan, Stapleton, Iliev, Voynov. Mick McCarthy with the tackle. This is Tanev. Lazar Tanev. He's got 23 league goals this season in Bulgaria. And indeed, he was the one who got the away goal in Belgium for that very good 1-1 draw that Bulgaria got in this championship. Ronnie Whelan filling in the space, making the early cross. Aldridge with the lovely knockdown. Here's Galvin. Good play by Nikolov, the fullback. Imposed himself between the attacker and the goal and did well. Kolev. Wide on the left, Voynov on the run, but the ball gave him no chance. Bulgaria now playing 4 front players. Alexandrov on the right, Voynov on the left, Tanev and Sirakov playing double centre forward. And no sweeper for Ireland because every man is occupied. This is Stapleton. Whelan. John Aldridge must be beginning to wonder. He's like a tennis spectator at Wimbledon then as the ball went over his head. Is he going to get in for that strike-on goal? For Aldridge tonight, his 9th international. "19 minutes left. Brzezinski. Kolev, Paul McGrath. Nice little shimmy. Now, where's the support? There's offside flag. John Aldridge. Kolev. Nikolov. Tanev. Moran. Whelan. Poole, Ronnie Whelan. Well, it's becoming sodden around there. The ball didn't hop. Nikolov. This is a real test for the Irish back four now. Every man on a man. And yet, McGrath, whom you might expect to be tighter to the back four, is up there, halfway in the Bulgarian half, as Ireland go for the win. Brzezinski. Voynov. Brzezinski again. In the side because Peter Petrov, the regular left back, is out injured. A bit like Ireland in that left back situation. That's McCarthy. Bulgarian ball. Tanev. Dimitrov. Kolev. They're beginning to play it a bit now, the Bulgarians. This is Kolev. Dimitrov. Paul McGrath. Good challenge by Paul McGrath. Offside. John Aldridge. Offside what? About 7 paces in his own half? In the Bulgarian half, rather. Sadkov to Kolev to Sadkov, the man who got the goal. Here's the new sub, Voynov. Alexandrov. Lovely little touch on. Now, where can Sadkov go? Kolev. That's Frank Stapleton back there. Packy Bonner organising. Liam Brady back deep in his own goal. Roddy Whelan has covered the short corner possibility. Out came Bonner, whipped off the line. It was Chris Houghton who took it off the line. Now can Bonner get hands to this? Just about. Ireland in disarray. Anderson got a toe cap to it. And eventually it was Frank Stapleton who toe poked the ball to safety. This is a tough spell now for the Irish. Here's Tanev. Little twisting, turning forward. Paul McGrath stopped. Kohler flicking in. Bonner comes across, makes the decision to play it. It wasn't going to run out. It holds on that surface this evening. And there's 15 minutes to go. And that was close. Stapleton. Goal scorer one and goal saver the other. Frank Stapleton. Liam Brady. Goal kick, Bulgaria. Liam Brady looking for his 9th goal for Ireland. This was the chance. How far was it wide? Well, considerable. Nikolov. McGrath. Nikolov again. Bulgaria on a roll and beginning to look so good now. Was an important challenge by Kevin Moran there. Tony Galvin won it well. Away goes Stapleton as Aldridge breaks. Aldridge taken, and a bad tackle it was. The referee played the advantage. On the break, the quick man here is Alexandrov and Nick McCarthy. Did he do it twice at Hampden Park? Has he done it again in the Vasilevsky Stadium? It is most certainly Bulgaria's best spell of the second half. They're beginning to put a bit together, and the two new men have given fresh legs to a heavy pitch. That was John Anderson's defensive header. Foul's been given again. Liam Brady looks at the referee, and even if he isn't saying anything, he's asking a question. With the pitch so heavy, you've got to be asking now if there's a possibility of an Irish substitution. 12 minutes to go. Kolev with the free kick for Bulgaria. Get a second chance. Where is there to go? Kolev. Huh? As they used to say, there's plenty of room up there. It was John Anderson. Nikolov. McCarthy. A header that's as long as many a kick. To Brady. Aldrich is waiting for it, and it don't happen like that. This is Alexandrov, Sadkov, Kolev. Well, John Anderson is the one who's penalised. No time for arguing. Kolev for Bulgaria. Sirakov. Away goes Brady. An important piece of control by Brady in that situation. And he finds touch. More than halfway inside the Bulgarian half. And Ireland have 11 minutes left to survive. The Bulgarian crowd trying to encourage the team to get forward. A terrible evening for football. McCarthy in hard on Tanev. Eventually it's McGrath who's penalised. Kolev. Stapleton. McGrath. The referee searching in his pocket for a card, which he will now flash to 1P McGrath. Making it the 7th Irish player who's been yellow carded in this European Championship tournament so far. Here's Kolev. It was Mourne who won it. It's Brady on it. Whelan. Stapleton. Ireland certainly absorbed a lot of pressure there for about 10 minutes. And perhaps it's not over yet. Alexandrov, lovely little ball to Sirakov. He's down at the area. The referee pointed the spot. It's the penalty. I think some of the more experienced Irish players were beginning to wonder if such a thing would happen. And Packy Bonner wants no arguments. He's pushing the irate Irish players away. Well done, Packy Bonner. Down went Sirakov. That shot didn't quite show the line, but the referee had no doubts at all. And with less than 9 minutes to go, a chance for Bulgaria to win the game, or certainly to take the lead in the game. And it's in the net. "23 league goals this season, and a very important one for Bulgaria. Tanev. A penalty that will be argued about long and hard by Irish followers. Lasse Tanev scored against Belgium, and Bonner guessed the wrong way. 2-1. One of Ireland's best fighting performances. And the man on the master scoreboard has decided to go for an early tee, because he hasn't put it up, but Bulgaria are leading. And now too many Irish players are getting involved in silly arguments now to serve no purpose. He's carding Liam Brady, I think. Now Frank Stapleton's there as well. The Irish are very annoyed. McGrath's already on a yellow. Liam Brady was asking questions of Mr. Valente before that penalty award. Liam has been around a long time and he's seen a lot of refereeing in Europe. And I'll say no more. Well, if Bulgaria win, and with 7 minutes to go, it's looking like it, it's certainly a real injustice to the performance of Ireland. And Moran, look how he winced as he kicked that ball on his right foot. Whelan tries to feed it through. And yet, if, as Jack Charlton said, he wanted 2 points from 2 away games, no matter what happens here, he's still got them. Vedlanov's expression doesn't reveal much, but he's got to be happy. The fresh men probably did it for him. Neil Quinn is about to come into the Irish team. The big Arsenal man, only 20 years old, about to come in for his third international cap, and he has 6 minutes to make a name for himself. If and when the ball goes dead and the referee sees him and the linesman draws his attention, etc., etc. Here's Moran. A gallant performance. I don't think there are many other players who would play in his condition this evening. Galvin brought down. And Frank Stapleton, who has given everything, looks to be the one to go off. I think he's the one they're certainly trying to draw attention to. And he has acknowledged, in fact, almost basketball style, that he's the one to go. And really, he can't believe it, I think. Big Frank can't believe it. He was almost pleading there, leave me on till this free kick comes in. And the Irish skipper has been brought off, and Neil Quinn has been brought on. Now, who's the captain, the referee wants to know, because Frank Stapleton is the skipper. Who will I give it to, he asked Jack Charlton. And it looks like Mick McCarthy will be the man. Yeah, the referee had it all the time. Yeah. Mick McCarthy, the skipper then, so for the last 4.5 minutes of the game. Quinn is on. Played in the Iceland tournament last May. Not before, not since. And he's the biggest, certainly the tallest man around there. Drops down for Galvin to hit it. Tony Galvin. But it's safely in the clutches of Mikhailov. 4 minutes left in Sofia. Ten years ago here, Bulgaria won 2-1. It poured rain that evening when 4 men were sent off. Tonight, 3 men have been yellow carded. It's finishing 11 aside, but the scoreline's the same. 2-1 Bulgaria. John Aldridge, Paul McGrath, Liam Brady are the men who've been booked. Quinn, Sadkov, Nikolov, Kevin Moran, now reaches for the card again. This time, who is it? Yes, it's the Bulgarian. The man who came in as a sub Voinov. Liam Brady. Quinn in the middle of them there. Middle of the white shirts. That was John Aldridge who went down. And just 2 minutes left. Voinov, quite prepared now to play at keep ball. John Anderson, a run for Galvin. Nothing fancy about Dimitrov there, and who can blame him? The home side try to retain their unbeaten record in this European Championship, which, if the score stays as is, will be 2 away draws and 1 home win. Now, McCarthy to launch one of his long throws. Into Quinn's head. And there's still time. The clock says 40 seconds. Quinn takes up the near post situation. Nick McCarthy right on the goal line. Quinn's flick on, good one too. Back with Iliev to knock it away. Galvin. Houghton. Well, as he's saying play on, I don't think some of the players are too sure for a moment. Free kick Ireland. Brady to take it. There's bound to be a bit of time added on, but better be, because we're in that now. Brady's free kick. Quinn in there battling. Turned across, out comes Mikhailov, what a bad one! In with John Anderson! Oh, the Bulgaria defence, Iliev asking the referee how about the time. And his skipper, Dimitrov, has words to say as well. Well, a gallant performance, looks like ending without a point. In fact, that's what's happened. It's all over in the Vasil Levski Stadium. And Bulgaria have won the match 2-1. The Irish fans certainly unhappy with it all. But the Irish teams leaves the field. And in a long time watching Irish teams, there haven't been many more gallant performances than this. But in the end of it all, nothing to show for it. Goals from Sadkov in the first half, when Sirakov sent him through, Stapleton's equaliser, and then the